All right, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahweh Shai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahweh Shai, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. Citations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. And as from what you can see here, this is an article from Reuters. All right, it's dated December 31st, 2019. And it says violent protests erupt around U.S. embassy in Baghdad after U.S. airstrikes. It says protesters and militia fighters enraged, all right, enraged by U.S. airstrikes on Iraq staged a violent demonstration outside the U.S. embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, torching a security post and hurling stones as security forces and embassy guards hit back with stun grenades and tear gas. So from what I'm reading, man, you can see that as all right, propagates his wickedness and it plans mischief, all right, for us, the Hebrew Israelites, man. You know, with all this propaganda coming out, you have another story of a so-called man that was influenced and had writings from the black Hebrew Israelites. All right, if you see these things, man, you're seeing this, but on the other end, on the other side of the world, this man, they're coming against this man on the other side of the world, man. All right. So here home in America, Babylon the Great, this man is trying to demonize us, but on the other end, the Lord has the other nations and putting the spirit on these other nations to come against him in the other parts of the world, man. Okay. So I'm gonna read a little bit more. Let's see if they have some sound to this.
However, Kataib Hezbollah is part of a larger coalition of militias that, although they have a separate command structure, officially answer to the Iraqi government and often work jointly with its regular security forces. These Iranian-backed militias also pull major political clout in Iraq. Opposition to their influence is one of the reasons why Iraq has been swept by anti-government protests in which hundreds have died. But it's those
so all these other nations in these other countries are getting tired of you Edomites, man. Here it is, you're trying to demonize us, but it's all falling back upon you. Okay, you're actually you're doing exactly what the Most High has prophesied and has orchestrated you to be doing in these last days, man. Okay, it says Iraqi officials said the ambassador and other stuff had been evacuated, but this cannot be confirmed with American officials. In Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump accused Iran of orchestrating the violence and said Tehran would be held responsible. So here it is, this country is blaming other countries for orchestrations of violence when you have here in America, Babylon the Great, crisis actors. All right, you have psyops, and you have all these false events and catastrophic situations that tend to take place. Like we had one yesterday where this bug out that they probably hired as an agent, all right, go into a house full of Jewish people and stabbed them with a machete. That's all orchestrated and planned by this government over here in America, Babylon the Great, man. But then they have the audacity to accuse other governments of doing the same thing, of orchestrating violence, when who knows, Iran might have orchestrated the violence. All right, because Iran really does not like you American Babylonians, man, because you're liars, you're deceivers. All right, and then all this is going to result in these other nations spoiling you, man. Okay, you're so worried about us over here, we're just teaching the scriptures, but all of this is going to result in the other nations spoiling you, man. Okay, let's get it. This is bear with me 1 second. All right, and this is a milk scripture, man, and it's coming to pass. These prophecies, man, you must can't get away from these prophecies, man. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. This is Isaiah. There it is. Came to the Spirit. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, these other nations. So the whole time you have your eyes set on us, teaching this word, because it is prophecy. This is our book. We are the people in the book. You see? But on the flip end, in the other countries, they're coming against you because they're getting ready to spoil you. That's what we're trying to tell you. Russia, Iran, right, China. You think those joint naval drills were for nothing? Okay? These other nations are getting ready to spoil you while you're focused on us just bringing out the prophecy. You're focused on destroying the messengers that are actually preparing you. All right? Although we know there is no preparation you could do to save yourself, thus saith the scriptures, because it says that this place, the Lord has measured this place to be taken out. Thus saith the Lord, man. All right, so when you're ceasing to spoil, which is the time we're living in now, you want to get comfortable. You want to chip all the people. All right. You want to push more demonic doctrines and ideologies around the world. Now you're trying to take your rest. You're trying to put your spirit upon the whole world, but that's not going to happen, man. The Lord said these other nations are getting ready to spoil you because you've been spoiling them. That's why they're getting mad in these other countries, man. You see? That's why they're burning stuff. Because they're tired of this demonic pagan rulership, man. Okay? The earth is mourning, man, because of this nation ruling over here in America, Babylon the Great, man. Okay? Let's see what we got in here. This is Habakkuk 2:5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. You're in all these other countries across the world, and you don't think they're gonna try to spoil you at the end of the day? You have garrisons in most of the countries on the earth. You have your military in most of the seas on the earth. You don't think these other countries are gonna get tired of this? You're worried about us over here in America, Babylon the Great, but these other nations are getting ready to spoil you. They're having joint naval drills. They're having secret meetings, laughing at you because they know that it's the time for you to become the spoil, as Isaiah the 33rd chapter says, man. Can't blame this on us. We don't have anything. We don't have wealth. We don't have riches. We don't have a military. We don't have these things, but the Lord gave all these things to these other nations so he can use them to spoil you. You see? Habakkuk 2:5, yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied. Gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? That's what's taking place. Even us. Even us. Taking up this parable against you. Telling you the parables of the scriptures. Telling you that you're Lazarus. That you're going to go into torment. And that we're going to be saved. And we're going to go into the hand of Abraham. Into the bosom of Abraham, excuse me. All these things that you've done across the earth, this is the time that the parables are being taken against you, man. People are calling you on your bullshit, man. All these false flags that you're doing. The world knows that you're doing these things, man. You see? The world knows that all these stabbings and shootings in the churches, and they know that it's you doing these things. You're doing this. You see? You think you're going to fool the Most High, man. That's what you really think is going to happen, but it's not going to work. Okay, Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe? And we know that word woe means destruction. To him that increaseth that which is not his! Exclamation mark, man. All these things that you've gotten, the riches, the wealth, the gold, these cars, these resources in this country, is all stolen, man. You see? All of these things is off of slave labor. That's why in Revelation it tells you that this place holds the souls of men, and you've been holding them, man. All these prisoners, man. All these people trying to make it. But you put them on the bottom and you put yourself on the top. You exalted yourself. All right. And Obadiah tells you, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. That's the times that we're living in, man. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, destruction, because that word woe means destruction, to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, the debt? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? So you're going to be a spoil unto the people that you've spoiled, man. Okay? That's why it says all the hand of the wicked shall come upon you, man. All these workers, all these people that you've been getting over on, all these people that you've been oppressing, not just here in America, Babylon the Great, all throughout the world, man. It's all going to come right down upon this place, man. Okay, let's keep reading. Habakkuk 2:8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. That's Isaiah 33. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. You see? And that's the spirit that I went right into this scripture, because this is perfectly lining up, man. You can't do anything against this prophecy, man. You're not gonna take yourself outside of the orchestration that the Lord has planted you in, man. You see? You're stuck. Habakkuk 2:8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. That's all you've been doing, is shedding blood across this earth, man, for hundreds of years, man. But now we're the bad guy because we're crying out and we're calling out your wickedness and your mischievous ways, man. Ridiculous. Habakkuk 2:8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Isn't this man a violent man? All his violent dealings. You see? Now you're mad. Now you want to demonize us because we've been given the spirit to understand and to call you out, man. To be the Lord's mouth. Okay? That's why in Amos, the 5th chapter, says they hateth him that rebuketh in the gate. You got our people hating us for trying to correct them. You hate us for telling on you. All these things are taking place in the last days, man. These prophecies are still going by. And you happen to be the Edomites, and this happens to be America, Babylon the Great. The virgin daughter of Babylon. Habakkuk 2:10. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. You sinned against yourself. You sinned against the Most High, man. Using your sword. You got your blessing. Living in voluptuousness, living in deliciousness. You know, all falsely gotten off another man's back, off of another man's labor, off of another man's pain and tears and blood. But now you're somehow hurt. You somehow just want to come out and and lie on people and throw people in jail because you know that you're at your end, man. How can you blame that? Like I said it before, man, it's a weak thing when you're a ruler and before you go down, you blame everything you've done on your slaves, man. Wow. Habakkuk 2:10. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe, that word woe again, to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. That's this place, America, Babylon the Great, has been established by blood and iniquity, man. You had millions of so-called Native Americans and Latinos, millions of so-called Negroes killed on this land, man. Bones under every plot of land on this country, on this landmass, man. From your pillaging, from your raping, your robbing, your murdering. Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, establish a city by iniquity. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. You got everybody on the planet going contrary to the laws of the Most High. You got the Israelites going contrary to their heritage, man. And blaming them and crying to the Lord, looking at talking about, look at their people, see? But you're the one, you think the Lord don't know that you're giving our people bacon and putting bacon and everything? These are just small examples, by the way, man. Having our people sell their soul to get your false riches. All these things on the earth that you have done is coming back to bite you, man. And Galatians 6:7 says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap, man. Okay? Because ultimately you thought the Most High was with you, man. You see, but ultimately you're going to get the same cup turned unto you. You're going to get the same things you've done unto you. That's how the Most High works, man. And you can't blame anybody but yourself. Habakkuk 2:16, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. That's why the world is getting tired of you, man. Here it is, you parade around the earth as this pompous, mighty man, but you don't do anything but lie, rape, rob, and murder people, man. Steal people's resources, steal people's heritages, and oppress them. You don't think the Lord of the Lord and creator of this reality doesn't see you? You know, there's this meme, this Cat Williams meme, and it says, "Nigga, do you know that we can see you?" This man thought that he got away, man. Okay, but everything that you're doing, everything that you have done in this time of your rulership, in this time of your blessing, because this has been your blessing, this has been your time to be on top. You don't think that the Lord of hosts has seen everything you've done? You see, the Lord has seen everything you've done, and the Lord has not been pleased with it. Although you thought that the Lord was with you because he gave you this power, but he gave you this power so that he can, at the end of it, destroy you and show his power, man. Okay? I'm going to get this and end it off here. I don't want to make it too long. This is Psalms 50. It's one of my favorites, man. Psalms 50. Psalms 50:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, which is the Israelites, because you happen to be the older brother. You come from the older brother of the man that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans come from. Jacob. They are the Israelites. You are the Edomites. You see? And this whole time you've been lying on your brother, oppressing your brother. Okay? Beating and killing your brother, his kindred, his seed, just because of that blessing that you sold in the beginning in Genesis, man. This all goes back to that. See, now you theologians and you scholars and you, especially you elites, you know this is the truth, man. So now we're just bad because we want our heritage back. We want something. We want a piece of something. We want to live in peace like you've been living in peace. Complete hypocrisy, man. Psalms 50. That's why a judgment is going to surprise the hypocrites in these last days. Even 2/3 of our people that are siding with you, that are gone and bugged out of their mind. Psalms 50:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. All these things that are going to happen to you in these last days is because of these things you did to your little brother, man. All these nations are going to spoil you. Like it says in Isaiah 33, the Lord's putting the spirit on these nations to come against you. You can't blame that on us. We're still in captivity under you, man. But we're also going to tell you and relay the message from the Most High to you to let you know that your time is almost up, man. Okay? And that the Lord is seeing you. And you see these chariots. You see the chariots of Israel. Your NASA programs, your Space Force. You see the chariots. You know this is the end for you. There's no getting out of what the Lord has planted you to be. It tells you that in Romans 9. Psalms 50:21. These things hast thou done. All these things you did across the earth. All these things you did to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites. These things hast thou done, and I will kept silence. The Most High is speaking. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee, which means correct thee, and set them in order before thine eyes, which is why you see us coming back to who we are. We're fulfilling prophecy. Man's goings of the Lord. You think we wanted to go? We didn't plan to go out there and preach and come back to this knowledge. The Lord gave us a spirit and gave us the understanding of this, man, in these times, which is him setting us in order before your eyes. Okay? Psalms 50:22. Now consider this, ye that forget the Most High, lest I tear you in pieces and there be none to deliver. All right? So the Most High, is wanting his people to return to him. And with that is going to come a salvation. This is something you can't do anything against because it's prophecy. Okay? The wicked man is going to come to nothing. All right? And I'm bouncing around because this is spirit, because all these things is beautiful times, man. The world is seeing the chariots. All right? The world is seeing your downfall. The world is seeing who the true Israelites are. Although they might not believe, but everybody is becoming a witness to what the Lord is about to do on the planet, man. You see? At the end of the day, we are the Israelites. And this is the time of our rejuvenation, our revival from the Most High. And there's nothing that you can really do about that, because this is, and you know, we're the people of this book. Okay? Ultimately, you're just going to come to nothing, like the scripture says, like the Most High has purposed you to do. This is Psalms 144. Psalms 144. And this is why we're trusted in the Lord to save us out of this situation, man. All this propaganda, all this slandering, all these lies and this mischief that you're trying to frame against us is going to come to nothing, because you're ultimately the one in the trick bag. You're ultimately the one digging your own pit. And you're going to come to nothing, thus saith the Lord. Psalms 144:11. Because the Lord is going to save his elect. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Okay? All these things you're trying to frame against us, we see through them already. The Lord sees through it already, man. And the Lord is waiting for you to make your move, man. So the Lord can make his move and deliver his children from those that speak vanity, and from those who have a right hand that is a right hand of falsehood, which is lies, robbery, rape, mischief, deceit, treachery. And we know who that all fits. You Edomites, man. So Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem B'Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. Salutations to Akim across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom and Abba Babal.